Welcome all. Today we'll be discussing about ISA auditor's role in review of outsourcing function. Point to remember for CISA exam. So what should be there in an outsourcing contract? Very first thing, it should be in writing. It should be formal written contract. 3 clauses should be there in this particular outsourcing contract. So what are these 3 clauses? IPR, data privacy, BCP, DRP. IPR stands for intellectual property right. IPR clause will protect particular organization from someone else claiming the ownership of any particular data or processes that have been outsourced. Now, IS auditor need to ensure at least these 3 clauses should be there in outsourcing contract. If not, then it should be point of concern or consideration for IS auditor. Now, 2 main advantages of outsourcing are 1. Availing expert service, and 2. To save the cost. So in any scenario, wherever there is some indication of advantage of outsourcing, you need to look for either of these options in answer. Either to avail expert service or to save the cost. In scenario, if both the options are there as an answer, then you need to give priority to expert service, to avail expert service. In many questions or in many scenario, it will be there service provider being operating from outside country. In such a scenario, there are 2 consideration or 2 point of concerns for IS auditor. One is legal jurisdiction and other is privacy law. So in such cases or in such scenario where service provider is operating from other country, ISA auditor need to ensure these 2 points or these 2 consideration have been given some thinking before entering into agreement. So point of concern will be legal jurisdiction and privacy laws. So outsourcing contract should be in written agreement, inclusion of intellectual property clause and inclusion of BCP DRP clause. These are the points ISA auditor need to ensure while reviewing an outsourcing contract. What are the advantages of outsourcing contract? To avail expert services and for cost saving. But the prime advantage of outsourcing is to avail the expert services. In case if service provider is outside country, legal jurisdiction is the option and other option is privacy law. So these are the major concern in case if service provider is from outside country, legal jurisdiction and privacy. So now, what is the role of IS department? One is monitoring the outsourcing provider's performance and second is managing compliance with the contract for the outsourced service. So if you see, almost both the things are same. Role of IS department into ensure outsourced vendor are performing as per the contract. Now let us take some example question answer. These questions are actually resemble to the questions already asked in the CISA questions. So please pay attention. So a question is with respect to most important function to be performed by IS management in case of outsourced office IT process. Ensuring that outsourcing charges are paid as per SLA, training to staffs, levy of penalty, monitoring the outsourcing provider's performance. So already we have seen role of IS department is to monitor the outsourcing provider's performance. Let us take one more example. Here, which of the following is the responsibility of our organization's IT management? Again, same thing. They need to ensure compliance with the contract for the outsourced services. Let us take one more example. IS Auditor observed that outsourcing vendors have been appointed without formal written agreement. So what should be the course of action? Obtain independent assurance, set up a process for monitoring the service delivery, ensures that formal contracts are in place, appointment of outsourcing vendor to be revoked. So we already seen all the contract or all the agreement should be formal and actually should be in writing. So in case of formal written agreement, this contract will not be stand in court of law. An organization has outsourced IT support service. A probable advantage of outsourcing is that. So we already discussed what are the advantages of outsourcing. One is we can have expertise service and second is cost saving. So here if you see there is no option with respect to cost saving, but option with respect to expertise outsourcing vendor is there. So that is the answer. Again, an organization has outsourced designing of IT security policy. Which of the following function cannot be outsourced? Now keep this in mind. No organization can outsource its accountability. Even if they outsource its function or its processing or its designing, ultimate accountability lies with the organization itself. It cannot be outsourced. An organization has outsourced IT support service to a provider in another country. Okay, so we have seen in case if service provider is not from the same country, there can be two major concerns. One is legal jurisdiction and other is law, privacy law. So here we do have option legal jurisdiction. An IS auditor reviewing outsourcing contract of IT facility, he should be most concerned if which of the following clauses not included in the contract. So some of the important clauses that an IS auditor should ensure should be there in the contract are: one is ownership of intellectual property, other is BCP DRP related thing, and third one is with respect to privacy clause. So here we do have that option, that is ownership of intellectual property. Again, an organization has outsourced data operation service to a provider in another country. So here major two concerns will be: one is legal jurisdiction and second is privacy law. So we do have one option here, that is privacy law could prevent cross-border flow of information. Let us take one more example. Here an IS auditor is reviewing outsourcing operations of IT facilities. He should be most concerned about which of the findings. Okay, so if you see earlier we have seen following are the some clauses wherein ISA auditor need to ensure these clauses should be there in IT contract. So one of them is inclusion of BCP DRP of IT operations. Next question. An ISA auditor is reviewing the performance of a service provider. Which of the following is most important document for such a review? Performance report generated by ISP, service level agreement, penalty imposed, ISP reference check. If you see here, important document is service level agreement. Unless and until auditor review or see a service level agreement, he will not able to judge the performance or the penalty imposed. ISP reference checks will not be relevant over here. So answer here will be service level agreement. Thank you. For more such videos, please visit datainfosec.blogspot.in.